and welcome to the My Ray of Sunshine podcast. My name is Mayra, and I'm here to help you receive the advice you deserve. Now, if you all are here, it's probably because you want to try to understand the 5 love languages. If you don't really know what they are, that is why I have Aubrey here with me to explain them to you. So, welcome, Aubrey!
Hi, Myra. I'm so excited and happy to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity and for taking time to invite me on your podcast.
Oh, of course. I am so happy to have you on as well. I know that when we were recording the episode for your podcast, I just really loved everything that we talked about, and it's just honestly such a joy to have you.
Yeah, it was a fun, interesting, and insightful discussion, and I'm surely like all of the listeners in my podcast loves it, and they're looking forward for part two. So yeah.
Yes, part two is coming. Part two is coming. If you guys haven't listened to it yet, please feel free to go on Aubrey's podcast. And obviously, Aubrey, please tell us more about you and what made you start like the podcast and just a little bit about who you are.
So wait, where do I start? Well, hi everyone. My name is Aubrey Nichole. So I'm the host of this podcast entitled Life Talks with Aubrey Nichole. So basically I started it last May. I wanted to help. I was thinking, what can I do to help other people know more about different things in life? Because journeying life, it's a series of destinations, decisions, bigger and brighter things to look forward to. But I know there are struggles and hardships on the way. So what can I
Mm-hmm.
do to help other people? And I love advising people, sharing my experiences, my stories, and inspiring people. So this talks about different life aspects like relationship, career, love, professional and personal development. I'm also inviting people, fellow podcasters, supporting them like you, um, being a guest in the podcast, talking about different life things. And yeah, knowing that wherever they are in the world, whatever walks of life they have, they can just go on the podcast and listen to topics that are relatable for them, like for their career, how to ace a job interview, how to deal with long distance relationship, what is love, the things that I learned in love, the adulthood
Mm-hmm.
101, because I
Oh,
know it's hard. So
yeah.
yeah, that's my podcast. That is one of my hobbies. And then talking about like a professional career wise, I'm an intellectual property analyst in a university here in California. So basically, I'm dealing with a lot of intellectual property matters such as patents, inventions, copyrights, trademarks, contracts. So basically, I found meaning and purpose in helping students, researchers, and faculty protect their inventions, how to commercialize their invention or make this invention into the market, how do can they register those inventions or intellectual property they have. I have so much passion on IP.
Oh.
And
Oh.
yeah, and also I'm dealing right now a new, it's not a career shift, but it's a new additional aspect of my career. I'm dealing with plant varieties as well, like
Okay.
plant patterns. So it's a whole new different kind of experience for me because I'm learning a lot. That's the good thing about my job. I learn at the same time I help other people. And then lastly, what keeps me busy aside from being a newly wed, like I just got married last year. So
Oh,
it's a
congrats.
process of like enjoying our marriage life, figuring out things, being matured enough, thinking about the long term future. We have this online shop. It's called Infinite Bliss Souvenir and Gift Shop, where we make different souvenirs and party favors for different occasions, like invitations, look bags, and kitty souvenir and party favors and different occasions, and also different novelty items. So that's what keeps me busy all this time, like the podcast, the
Yeah.
work, bonding with my husband, yeah, and the shop. So I think pretty much that's what I do and who I am. So yeah.
That is so awesome that you have different passions, even within your job, because that is so important to be able to be working for a company or just doing something that you really do enjoy doing and are passionate about that. Like, I love that you are able to put your happiness first, and it's also so inspiring that you also have like different things like on the side, like your podcast and like the goodie bags and like that gift shop. Like that's so cute because
Thank
be
you.
not a problem. Like being able to have time for other things that you're passionate about too, just like in different areas in your life, like that is so important and crucial to have because especially like after a long week of work, like
Yeah.
it's nice to look forward to something else other than just the work. And it's good to be able to focus on something else and really, really like tune into your other passions that you have.
Yeah, I agree, definitely.
That's awesome. So Aubrey, what advice can you give to those who are trying to understand the five love languages? Like, where do we even begin with those?
Yeah, so before I give advices on the love languages, let me explain to you like what is love language, what the heck is it, or like how did you ever find that word love languages? So
Yeah.
basically, my journey towards figuring out what is love language is like a series of reading books, learning a lot of things on the internet, watching different kinds of movies that you would realize, oh, like this is like real life situations that happens in different relationship,
Mm-hmm.
advising my friends. So basically this love language, I read this one on a book by Gary Chapman. So basically he said that we as individual, we have different ways and how we express our love towards our partner. So at the same time, our partners have different ways to express their love towards us as
Mm-hmm.
well. So
Right.
we figure it out and analyze these five different love languages. So we call the first one words of affirmation, and then physical touch, quality time, acts of service, and receiving gifts. So those are the
Mm-hmm.
five love languages. So it depends on the person, how can they acknowledge, appreciate, and see expressions of love. So maybe your partner is different. For example, you want words of affirmation, you want to hear words of encouragement, motivation. It
Mm-hmm.
is your primarily love language, but your partner is different. Maybe he wants more quality time, more
Mm-hmm.
attention,
Mm-hmm.
more focus on talking a relationship and stuff like that. So it
Right.
differs. It's really
Mm-hmm.
important for you to know, because you get to understand deeper your partner. You know how to meet their expectations. Of course, as we sign up in the relationship, we have this expectations. We have this wish, I want, I need this one, these things. We have wish, needs, and wants. And to
Right.
be able for you to meet those expectations or to have a harmonious relationship, one of the tools for you to understand and communicate is to know those love languages. It is a tool in the relationship for you to have a strong connection or bond with your partner. At the same time, knowing those ways on how to show them how you love that person, and those ways to figuring out those languages would help you more avoid fights, avoid issues. At the same time, you will achieve like a long lasting relationship and happiness, because you two understands and you two strive hard towards making the relationship work. So those are just like an initial introduction of what are the love languages.
That is awesome. So, what exactly would you say that like, let's say someone who prefers like physical like touch and like that affection, they're more affectionate towards someone. Like, how what does that exactly mean or say about that individual who has that love language versus their partner per se.
Okay. So for example, let's start about physical touch. So it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't necessarily mean that it's more in a sexy, intimate way. So there might be at times where a person prefers a cuddle, a hug, a kiss, intimacy, or like, for example, a massage to show the person that, hey, this is how I love you. This is how I accept love, or how the impact of love for me is that it's physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that you should understand or communicate with your partner, that hey, I wanted to know how do you accept or express love, at the same time how do you want me to express my love to you. You two
Mm-hmm.
should be open, like the communication is really the key. And then if you
Right.
see that your partner is more on like hugging, snuggling while like in the couch watching Netflix, he wants hugs or kiss, he or she wants hugs or kiss, holding hands while walking, public display of affection. For example, you are walking in the park and you just want to hug or hold, then that's the physical touch. For example, words of affirmation, another kind of love language. When your
Mm-hmm.
partner's primary love language is words of affirmation, words are the most important thing to them. Like the compliments, like for example, I'm proud of you, or just random day, you look beautiful today, or I'm so proud of what you achieve or you accomplish. Those words are very important for them. It motivates them, it gives them fire to pursue things in life, it inspires them. Or
Mm-hmm.
let's say, for example, I love you, I missed you, or you're so special, you're so unique, or something like that. So that words are really an important thing for them. But
Mm-hmm.
looking at the flip side of the coin, it's also, you should also take note about when a person's primary love language is words or words of affirmation. When you two have fights, the words like the insults, or like when we're mad, we say things that we didn't mean, but it hurts our partner,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes a big impact to them as well, because their primary love language is words. So when, for example, insulting words or hurtful words has been said, it may take time for them to forgive or to forget those. It's a deep impact for them. It hits deeper and it cuts deeper. So you should
Right.
also look at that one. For example, quality time. Sometimes people said, "Oh, it's quality time, spending time with partner, easy. I'll just gonna spend time watching Netflix or watching movies with them, or bonding with them, playing
Mm-hmm.
games or stuff. That's it." But no, quality time, not just spending time, but it involves undivided attention. That means like,
Yes.
for example, you are eating dinner. most
Mm-hmm.
of most of the people are like eating dinner, yeah, spending time, but scrolling Facebook, scrolling news feed, or like holding
Mm-hmm.
phones. Or sometimes they're thinking, oh, I have work tomorrow, or these are the things I need to do tomorrow. And sometimes you're talking but your mind is on a different perspective or a different thing. That's not quality time for them. They want undivided attention, like your attention is just with them. You
Mm-hmm.
spend time with them, but at the same time you are focused on them. You leave whatever you do, set aside your phone, set aside your, for example, your tablet, your iPhone, iPad, and what, do not think about anything else. Think of that moment with your partner, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, receiving gifts, it's not equates to material things alone. it
Mm-hmm.
it's not the gift, it's the sentimental value of the thing that you gave. For
Right.
example, most of the people would say like, oh my gosh, he gave me this gift. For example, a keychain of Paris. And it's not just giving that keychain just because as a gift, because maybe you had your first, for example, you proposed on Paris, or you had your
Mm-hmm.
first trip in Paris, so that lives a sentimental value or a memory. At the same time, for example, giving gifts in terms of simple things. For example, your girlfriend or your boyfriend had this favorite food, and you just remember it, like, hey, on my way home, I saw this restaurant that you like, so I pick up something and give you this gift.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that they wanted, receiving gifts, but it should have value, it should have meaning to the relationship, not just like giving gifts just because.
Right.
Yeah, it's receiving gifts. And the last one is acts of service. This is something that is hard, a bit hard to understand, because acts of service is not like just you're giving service. It's a thing wherein you exert much effort and commitment to assist or help your partner and make their life easier in different aspects. For example, you washing after dinner, washing dishes or doing chores, or a simple like cooking breakfast and then surprising him or her in breakfast in bed. Or
Mm-hmm.
let's say, for example, you see that his car is a bit dirty, you think like, oh, what if, like, for example, I just wash the car and surprise him when he wakes up and it's there, it's clean. Or for
Mm.
example, let's say, oh, let me help you do your assignment, or let me do your project. Or while you're doing work from home, I make coffee or make snack for you, bake cookies for you. So it's acts of service, like giving them enough effort in enough ways to show them that they're appreciated. So those are just some examples of those five, but at
Mm-hmm.
least they can figure out the differences between those love languages.
Right. Wow. That is so helpful because it definitely brought me a better understanding. Like for instance, the gift one. I always thought like, oh yeah, here's some new shoes, here's a pair of earrings, or like here's like this like basketball that you wanted or something. Like anything, like that you would normally consider as a gift. But the fact that you said that like it has to have that sentimental value, that meaning that makes it special, like that, it makes sense. It definitely makes a lot of sense because someone who would appreciate gifts or someone who appreciates just simple words of affirmation, like it all impacts them in a certain way, and like it allows them to like feel loved and just like feel appreciated, because I think at the end of the day we all need to feel appreciated by our partners or just in
Yes.
general, and it's important to be able to see like how exactly does that work, and like what exactly does it mean if they prefer quality time over acts of service, like I know you have your husband and you guys have been recently married. um
Yeah.
how do you say like your love language is compared to your husband, or is it like different? How does that even work?
Oh yeah, it took a while for us to discover, our transition from being friends to being boyfriend and girlfriend to like fiance and then getting married. Like it's a
Mhm.
whole happy ups and down journey. It's like a
Right.
whirlwind of emotions and a one
Mhm.
heck of a journey, like what I said when I'm telling you about that. But yeah, it took time for us to really figure out and determine what is really a love language for us, because both of us are entirely different person in terms of love languages. So
Mhm.
what I figure out with him is he's more on a quality time person. So he wanted to, for example, because it's a struggle for me, because I do a lot of things, like I do online courses, I studied a lot,
Mhm.
continue studying for learning more things because I love learning. And then I do this work, and my work entails a lot of studying as well, knowing a lot of things and working a lot of things, having a lot of meetings every day. So he really wants me to spend time, like when, for example, in the evening we were watching movies, like no phones, no messages, no, for example, no messages from customers in the shop, just like me and you watching TV, talking about things. That is something that he really wants to. Or for example, we're eating, no scrolling of the phones, no watching YouTube videos or
Mhm.
scrolling on newsfeed, just like we eat, we talk. And when I'm talking and explaining to you, talking about things that I love, you have to listen to me, and we have to make sure that we spend quality time. When we say quality time, it's like you and me, just you
Mhm.
and me. Or sometimes he also wants, like, we do walks with our dog Duke. So we
Aw.
walk in the park, and without scrolling phones, no
Mhm.
phones. just talking about our plans in the future. How many kids do we want?
Ah.
What names the kids would have? For example, our dream house, figuring out appliances that we wanted to buy, how many
Mhm.
bedrooms in the house, what type of cars we want to buy for the future. That's how my husband is. But for me, I'm a different kind of person. I prefer, let's say, words of affirmation. Like, I
Okay.
wanted to hear that I'm really appreciated. It's not like so vain, but I just wanted to really know that I'm
Yeah.
appreciated and my feelings are valued, my efforts are being appreciated, or my work is being appreciated, like the things
Mhm.
that I do. And sometimes, it's so good to hear like, hey, you're doing great, I'm proud of you. Like, gives me it boosts my spirit to keep on going, because there are times that, random times we feel sad, we feel low. It's like not a good day for us, or we're tired, we're stressful.
Mhm.
Something positive or an affirmation that my husband like express or tell me, it's like my charge, and I get battery full again and power up to keep
Aw.
on going. And also at times I want also acts of service, like, like us,
Mhm.
like, I don't know about other girls, but for me, like when my husband cooks breakfast, when I wake up and my husband cooks breakfast, and like
Uh-huh.
there's waffles, like this morning, I just like I got sick yesterday, so I'm really not feeling well. I'm dizzy and I'm having a bad headache,
Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
yeah. So when I woke up this morning, he woke me up and said, "Hey babe, the breakfast's ready," and he made this waffle and linguiça and scrambled egg, and I was like, "Oh my
Oh
gosh,
my gosh.
this
So
is so
good.
good!" Yeah, like I'm so happy that he did that one and he surprised me. He did extra effort to wake up early and do that one, because there were times that I'm the one cooking.
Mhm.
Right now, he did that one and he cooked for us. So it's completely different. See, he
Mhm.
wants quality time. He's really very keen on that one. But it doesn't necessarily mean that, for example, you figure out that your partner's love language is quality time, and you figure out your love language is words of affirmation. You're just gonna stick there for the rest of your life and just do that one.
Right,
In
right.
relationship, it's like a constant journey of exploration, explaining
Mhm.
both of your wants and needs to each other, knowing more your partner. It adds thrill when you surprise your partner in a different way. So there were times that I know that he likes quality time, but there are times like during, for example, his birthday, I gave him this T-shirt. But this T-shirt is not just a random T-shirt. It's like, because he loves Tesla and
Oh, nice.
so I really work hard to find this T-shirt that
Uh-huh.
has a roadster in the moon and stuff like that, and the face of Elon Musk. So he's so happy because he's not a materialistic kind of person or the
Yeah.
receiving gift kind of person, but he appreciates it because it's something that he likes.
Right.
On his birthday, I gave him this T-shirt called "Best Husband in the Galaxy" with Star Wars kind of.
Uh,
So
that's
yeah,
so cute.
it's something new, and he knows that. He also give me like gift before, like, because he knows I'm not this receiving gift kind of girl, like, as long as, like, that I'm appreciated and you saying I
Mhm.
love you to me and I have this
Mhm.
assurance, I'm good. But because
Mhm.
sometimes, like, I'm telling him like, hey, do you love me, are you really sure that you love me? So he bought me this like this decoration where it says like, I because you're always asking, I can't say I love you enough, so this is a reminder that I love you so much. And then I put it on my table while I'm working so I can see that, oh, okay, this is an affirmation that he loves me.
Yeah.
So this is just our random stories, but like, I know it's cringe, it's funny, but you see the
It's so
difference.
cute.
Yeah, you see the difference. It's a whole different perspective in terms of love language. So that's how we do it. So now, yeah, pretty much everything is going smoothly. We have
Oh.
arguments sometimes. It's normal
Mhm.
in relationship, but at the end of the day, what matters most is you fixed it and you work,
Mhm.
both of you work hard to fix those arguments and issues. No
Right.
relationship is perfect. but you work
Exactly.
hard to make it perfect.
Exactly. You couldn't have said it any better, honestly.
Thank you.
And I love how you also said, like, if your love language is like affirmations or quality time, that doesn't mean that's all you appreciate. Like, in a sense, would you say that, like, we can have all five love languages, but perhaps we're like more stronger towards one of them? Because I know, like, for me, for instance, mine is a lot of like affection. I love the hugs, the cuddles.
Mm.
Like, I want it all the time, 24/7. And for my boyfriend, it's quality time. But I also know that, like, we tend to shift sometimes. Like, let's say, if our anniversary is coming up, like, I think of a very thoughtful gift, and he's not materialistic either, just like your husband. So he really appreciates like the thought behind the gifts,
Mm.
or the handcrafted gifts that I make him, and he really does enjoy those gifts more than just like a pair of shoes. And like, I just feel like in a sense we all kind of have them. Like, would you agree with that? Or I don't know if we if it would even be possible.
Yeah, like for me, I think based on like my experience, in relationship there are many stages. At the start of the
Mhm.
relationship until like on your as time goes by, you see love and life in a different perspective. As you grow older, you based on your experiences and your learnings in life, you get to value different things. For example, on the start of relationship when we're like young, we like more of like the ones we see in the movies, like surprises,
Right.
flowers,
Mhm.
gifts, rings, necklaces, and stuff like that. But as you grow older and you get matured, you undergo the process of adulthood. You realize that, oh, maybe it's not my love language anymore. I see
Mhm.
life and love in a different perspective. Maybe I want more quality time because it gives me the satisfaction. It gives me the affirmation and validity of how I feel and how I wanted to feel loved.
Mhm.
This love language doesn't mean that when you have that right now it continues to you have that primary love language all throughout your life. It
Mhm.
changes, depends on experiences and depends on how you learn things, or sometimes you just thought about like, oh, maybe, during my age in this time this is my love language. Maybe now that I get matured, I have, maybe for example, I have kids, or we had this long relationship already that is years or a decade or what. I shifted into, not into words of affirmation anymore, but into quality time, because I wanted to
Mhm.
have more time with my husband and my kids, for example. And
Right.
just a note, this love language doesn't just apply to like relationship wise on boyfriend girlfriend, husband and wife, or fiance or significant others. It also can apply, for example, parents to kids. What is the love
Mhm.
language of the kids? For example, what if the kids want words of affirmation? They wanted to feel like they were recognized in their grades or on the contest that they win in school, or the high
Mhm.
grades that they receive. Or what if the kid would like to receive gifts like the toys that they wanted, or the toys that they wish, or a poster of their favorite artist or singer? Or for
Mhm.
example, they want to spend quality time with their parents, like because their parents are so busy at work, they wanted to have undivided attention with their parents and
Mhm.
bond with them. So it doesn't just apply to relationships as like romantically, it also applies to family or to friends or to, you know, our our family as a whole. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, it changes, or it doesn't mean that you just have one primary. You can
Mhm.
have those five, but in those five, that there's one love
That
language that stands out that you
yeah.
want it consistently.
For sure, for sure. And I love that you also mentioned that it doesn't only apply to relationships. It could be anyone, even your pet. Like, for
Yeah.
instance, my dog is more like a cat. He does not like quality time. He does not like the physical affection. And he's just, I don't know how he expresses his love, but I know for sure it's not either of those. Maybe it might be like acts of service, like when we take him out for a walk. But um I do think it's just so important for everyone to just realize that it's not just relationships, and it's just important to know like how we each love, like express our loves to someone else, because I think also we think that like they just because our love language is quality time or affection, they also receive that way, and that's not the case because everyone's different, and it's
Yes.
definitely going to vary. And that's why sometimes it can be a little bit difficult when you guys can kind of bump heads.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's life. It's about getting to know what the person really does enjoy and how you can allow them to feel loved in their way that they feel love, and how hopefully they can reciprocate that and how you feel love as well. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, I know it's definitely been a challenge for me and my boyfriend, because it's like he loves the quality time, I'm more affection. So like he's fine with just playing video games, but I'm like, no, like when can we cuddle now? Like I just like want to be next to you, like literally like touching. Just because I love feeling that he's there, and like I love feeling like, he's just there to like be with me. So it's just a matter of how we see things and like our
Yes.
perspectives. And I do definitely agree with you that, we might have all five in different areas, but there's definitely one that stands out for sure.
Yeah, for
Definitely.
sure.
And how have you and your husband like kind of try to understand each other in that sense where you guys were different?
At first, it's like just so we don't want to ask. But during like boyfriend and girlfriend stage, we like
Mhm.
on the constant journey of figuring out like observing,
Mhm.
thinking, learning about his wants and my wants, like how I perceive love and relationships. But
Mhm.
we figure out that during the time that like we're engaged, and also like as the time goes by, our relationship gets stronger, and
Right.
we really wanted to make it work. We talked a lot, like we communicate, like we okay, let's talk. Okay, so what is it that how do you want it love to be expressed? How is what kind of ways do you want me to show how much I love you? And it's not just pure words. What are the other things that we can do? So it's
Mhm.
just communication and talking really, and at the same time consistency. You know,
Mhm.
one thing that is really important is the genuineness, the sincerity, and the consistency. So at
Mm.
the same time, assurance that hey, I love you so much, and you're the only one that is in my heart, and like we will make this work, something like that. We
Mhm.
always, we always. He is a very sweet person, really, like
Oh.
very like every day, random times. For example, I'm doing my work, or like I'm just doing studying. He just said I love you, like every day. Not a day would pass that he will not say I love you, and I will say I love you back, and or I'll just
Oh.
random time say I love you. Or sometimes we were in the same room but different computer space, and I'll just gonna send a meme to him like, hey,
Yeah.
still annoy you in a sweet way. So those are the things that I think is really important in relationship. First is genuineness and sincerity. Your partner
Mhm.
can feel when you're sincere and genuine. You just
Mhm.
don't say I love you just because you're in a relationship. You have to
Right.
mean it. Say it and mean it. Your partner will really know if you're saying it through the heart or just through the mouth. you know and
Wow, yeah.
second thing is honesty. You have to be honest with your feelings. If there are times that you, for example, you feel like you need more hugs, you need more kiss because the day is bad, like you just had a bad day, you
Mhm.
got stress or there's
Mhm.
problems, you have to be open. Your partner is not a mind reader. They
Yeah.
might misinterpret or interpret or understand things in a different way, so they can't
Mhm.
read your mind. You have to be open and hey, I feel sad today. This is a bad day for me. and I just need a hug or like a kiss. And at the same time, your partner will also observe that and will also feel that. They have this sympathy and their sensitivity to know and to address your needs as well. But you have to talk first,
Mhm.
so that in the preview and the other times that he or she sees you experience those bad days, he knows how to react, he knows how to comfort you, he knows what way to do. He learned from what you said. He knows things because it's a
Mhm.
constant knowing each other. Right now,
Yeah.
even if we're like husband and wife already, we also figure out things about
Mhm.
each other, like the foods that we want, the movies that we want, the things that we don't like and we like, and a relationship. As you grow older and as you journey life together, you also figure out things at the same time, learn things, which is better. So
Mhm.
that's how we address like our love languages. We talk, communicate, we listen to each other. And at the same time, I think what is one more important thing is always just show whatever you can, show your partner that you love your partner in different ways.
Mhm.
It's the thought that counts, it's
Right.
the effort that counts, not just always by words but mixed it with actions as well. Not do not let the day pass that you don't show the person that you love him or her, because that is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, love is a whirlwind of emotions. It's not just a feeling, but it's a series of things that encapsulates the word love. So that's the thing that I realized too. Like, I
Mhm.
value time so much because the time that was spent, you can never bring it back. The time that was past, you can
Right.
never put it back. So while you can, or while you have opportunity and time, you just have to always say to the person you love, not just your partner but your parents, your friends, that hey, I love you. I'm gonna
Mhm.
use this time to say that I love you and you matter to me.
Mhm.
It's how important it is, because you don't know they're struggling inside, they're
Right.
having problems inside that you don't know too. So saying I love you and you matter or you're special to me is something that will help them and will brighten up their day. So those are the
Yeah.
things that I think I learned from this relationship and then this marriage.
Yeah, that's so sweet because it's all just the little things that really go a long way and make that difference.
Exactly.
And like you said, you're always going to continue learning about your partner. It doesn't matter if you've been with them for a decade or for a
Mhm.
couple months, like you're going to learn about them more and more. And that's like the best thing about being in a relationship because you were kind of like joining your life with someone else who is like completely different from you, who has different needs, different values, kind of in a sense different dreams of like what they want, and then somehow that's supposed to align with your
Yeah.
wants and needs and dreams and all those different things. Like it goes on, but it's just really nice to be able to tell that like okay, my partner, he's having a bad day and I can tell just by the way he's reacting, or
Mhm.
like those things that you can pick up. It's actually like so cute because it means that you've just spent so much time with them that you literally know by like how they are reacting, how they are like, talking to you, or like, just based on what they're actually doing, like if they're like feeling down or if they're just kind of like wanting to be by themselves, like a lot of it you just have to like respect that they sometimes need their alone time. And I know that's sometimes something that we don't really want to hear. Like the ladies just don't want to give the guys the alone time that they need. But I think it's all comes down to like being able to be there for your partner and support them, and just like respect their decision of like sometimes they just need time to like figure
Oh
things
yeah.
out.
I agree. I think one
Yeah.
thing that I learned as well is, you can grow together and you can also grow individually in other things. So you also have to respect your partner's personal space. For
Mhm.
example, you spend so much time together, you do a lot of things together, you get bonding moments and experiences together. But there is also a need for you to have personal space. Like, you grow individually, in
Mhm.
different things, and for example, in the things that he likes and in the things that you like. Those personal space will help you a lot to realize and learn things, how he or she matters to you a lot, and how
Mhm.
he or she acts when you're not there. When for example he is with his friends, he would figure it out, learn some things, learn a lot of things, realize a lot of things. That is
Mhm.
important
Mhm.
because you miss each other. You always
Yeah.
gonna think of each other even if you're not with each other on that certain time. But yeah, we do it personal space. If for example I give him time to play with his friends, the video games, and he
Mhm.
also gives me time to have my personal space studying or talking to my friends as well, on video calls. And at the same time, those personal space, we learn a lot of things too. For example,
Mhm.
he gave me time and opportunity to join different discussions, do my podcast. We grow individually, but we grow
Mhm.
together. As person, we grow individually in
Mhm.
different aspects, but we grow together in terms of dreams and our perspectives. And suddenly you would realize that it goes perfect fit. It really
Yeah.
aligns to what you want. And yeah, that's the great thing about it.
Right. That's so special to be able to like grow with someone and still be your 100% self and not lose
Hmm.
yourself in
Yes.
any relationship, even friendship. Like the moment that you feel like you're no longer like 100% involved in that relationship, or you just feel like you need them to like, go on with your day or your life, like it's just that sense of wanting to be with them all the time just because you want to feel secure and safe. Like, I'm guilty of that. Like, I'm definitely a bit guilty of that. But I just feel like um, the fact that my boyfriend, for instance, had a lot of patience with me in terms of trying to motivate me and inspire me to do things, that didn't involve him. Like, he would tell me, go hang out with your friends, like, go make plans. Like, don't worry about me. Like, I'm gonna hang out with my friends. Like, it's okay for you to have your own life outside of me. And I'm just like, but why would I want that? And it wasn't until recently where I was actually like found my passion in podcasting, and now I'm like always editing, and now I'm always like looking to improve and to continuously grow. And it's like, okay, yeah, you can like play with your friends, I'm gonna edit, like just message me when you're done. And it's just like no big deal. But it did take a while, and I'm actually like so happy and thankful that like he was still able to like push me into becoming a better person, a better version of myself. And not only that, but also finding myself.
Hmm.
Because in times where I felt like the most lost and the most confused, he was the one that kind of like paved the way of like, okay, like maybe you can try this or try figuring out a hobby. Like, um, focus on what you do enjoy doing and just keep doing that. And it really did bring me to, having my own podcast and like stepping outside of my comfort zone that way. But like, I'm so glad that those events did happen in my life, because now here we are, like we met through the podcasting community, and I couldn't be
Yes.
even happier about that. So it's just like a learning process of being with a person and also being individuals, and also, coming together when um your life paths just align just in the perfect way. And yeah, it's just really, really great to be able to know that you have someone to share that with and who also inspires you to become better
I
than
agree.
than you initially were.
Yes.
So how exactly would you describe love?
Yeah, for me, I think love is a very wonderful and amazing feeling. It brings out the best in you and inspires you to be the best version of yourself.
Mhm.
For me, love has a lot of factors. And but you also need to consider that love is not just a bed of roses where it's so happy at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Love is a journey, and it's a battle as well. It's a constant battle for you to fight to make the relationship work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like you enter into a relationship and you expect it to be like, oh, happy ever after. You
Right.
also need to strive hard and work hard and show to your partner that you're willing and committed and dedicated to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
For me at times when I was young, I think this, oh, love is like prince and princesses and a happy ever after. But as
Mm-hmm.
you grew older, your vision or look or perspective and about love changed. There's a lot of different kinds of love. There's a romantic love, there's a love towards your family, a love toward friends, to your passion, to your pets, or to your cousins, to a love to your, let's say, to a place that is very significant to you, a love towards the things that is valuable to you. So I think when we focus more on love rather than hate or rather than other kinds of feelings or sadness, you would see that because of love, it branches out into different positive feelings and affirmation that will make your life easier. As long as you have love in your heart and you are willing to give love to other people, I think that's also a good thing and a positive impact in your life. But you also should not forget to love yourself first. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you love yourself first and you have this love inside of you, you are capable of giving it. But you can't give something that you don't have. If you don't have love for yourself, how can you give love to other people? That's also the thing that you should consider to the listeners and to
Mm-hmm.
everyone out there,
Mm-hmm.
that when you love, you also need to first love yourself and retain something for yourself. Love yourself first because you matter. Your feelings are valid, and your feelings are valid as much as your significant other's feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing about it. Love is a series of stages, process, journey. You get it. There's highs and lows. There's ups
Mm-hmm.
and downs. It's a whirlwind of a roller coaster ride. It makes you go nuts sometimes, but
Oh yeah.
it's one of the greatest feeling in the world. And that's the thing that I realize. And I always look things in a brighter perspective. And
Mm-hmm.
when you're positive and when you're happy, it just it's like a beaming light to you. You give love to other people. And
Right.
yeah, but I think self-love is really important. That's the thing I learned about it. When you love someone, you also first need to love yourself. Take care of yourself, value yourself, know your worth. That hey,
Mm-hmm.
you are worthy, you are valid, you are valuable, and
Mm-hmm.
you yourself should first take care and love yourself, because when you love yourself and you know your worth, people
Mm-hmm.
will see it. People will see through it. So I think
Right.
that's it.
That's like the perfect way to explain it too.
Oh,
Like
thank
it's
you. Like it's just like how I feel, and like
yeah.
when I express like what I feel and what I learned about all my like the journey and the realization I had in this like quarantine. I realized a lot of things and I read a lot of things.
Right.
Yeah, from my friends as well. So I learned from my friends as well. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, you do have to love yourself first before anyone else. And I feel like not many people really understand that concept. And they just think, like, okay, when another person loves me, like, then I'll gain the value for myself and then I'll love myself. Eventually, I'll get there. But then what are you doing? Like, you're either settling for something less because, you're settling on a person who perhaps isn't the right fit for you, but you just need that security and you need that person to tell you, oh, you look amazing, you're beautiful, like, you're worth it. And maybe they're not even the right person for you in the long run. So it's just a matter of, like, never settling and really valuing yourself and knowing what exactly you want, what kind of partner you want in your life for the long run. So that way, you can continue searching for that. And of course, if you haven't already found it, but also not forgetting that you also need to find yourself, and you also need to love yourself. Love yourself even when you're alone. Like, just because you're by yourself doesn't mean that, um, like, you're not really enjoying your own company. Like, sometimes I talk to myself all the time, like, too much. And like, I never get bored when I'm by myself, because it's just like, either like me saying something silly, or me pretending to be on a in a YouTube video, or doing like a makeup tutorial. Like, there's always something that you can do to like kind of get to know yourself. Journaling has helped me as well, so I always
Yeah.
encourage people to just like find their inner self before looking outer in the outer world and seeking who is meant for you. And I just love the way that you put that, because it is so, so true, and it resonates a lot.
Actually, I thought about this one. You know, the five love languages can also be applied on self-love. You should also figure out how you wanted to express loved. For
Mm-hmm.
example, you want quality time. You can also love yourself by having quality time with yourself. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, a hot shower, reading books, journaling, writing things. Or, for example, you want words of affirmation. You can just say, "Hey, self, you can do it." Or, for example, you did something good. Hey, tap yourself on your shoulder. "Hey, self, you're doing good, you're doing better, keep it up." So it can
Mm-hmm.
also apply on self-love too. It doesn't just apply on relationship, families, or what. It's applicable on self-love too. So like I just
Yeah. Yeah, and it's perfect because, like, especially if you're someone who likes words of affirmation, like, just looking in the mirror and just saying, like, I look beautiful today. Like, I am rocking this outfit. Like, my hair looks so good. Like, just boosting yourself up can really help boost your self
exactly.
esteem, because I feel like a lot of the times we're also too busy comparing ourselves to other people, and then it just kind of ruins us inside, because we don't feel like we can compare to the level of prettiness that another person has, or like how popular they are, or just other external factors that at the end of the day don't really matter, because you have to figure out like what you can do to better yourself, to love yourself, and to be able to like give that love to others. And it's just really, really necessary to do, especially when going on the hunt for love.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
And what would you say like would be a good book or a resource that you could give others the tip for? Because I know that sometimes like it's a little bit tricky. I know the five languages is like very a broad topic, and you did it beautifully, like describing it.
Thank
Um,
you.
but like, do you have any other resources, or like a book maybe that you recommend someone to like, get into? That way they can learn more?
There are a lot of books available. Like you can search online about five love languages. The most popular one is Gary Chapman's Five Love Languages, which is I read years back. But aside from that, I think there are a lot of articles online wherein they also shows examples and how you do that one.
Mm-hmm.
And also there are love languages quiz wherein there are quizzes that you
Oh,
would take, and then you would answer on the options, and based on your answer they will generate, oh, this is the kind of love language that you wanted or you prefer. So at the
oh,
same
that's so
time,
awesome.
yeah, they have activities too. So I figure I read this blog, I think a year ago, and there's this an example because I have a word of affirmation type of person.
Uh-huh.
So what I did is I put it on strip of paper and I started, for example, I love it when, or I am proud of you because, or like I appreciate you because I like your blank. Then I put it on the paper, and then
Mm-hmm.
sometimes random when we don't have anything to do, I like shake that jar and said, "Babe, get one." And then he opens it and he said, "Okay, I love it when you," and then he continues the sentence. It's like an
That's
activity or game for us.
yeah, that's so cute.
Yeah, so that's the thing that I figure out by reading those magazines, those articles or blogs blogs and books, but it's like a constant of research. Go to our constant best friend, Mr. Google.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch videos about people explaining love language. It depends on you how you learn things, or maybe listen to podcasts like this.
Mhm.
Yeah, so those are the things, and you can also incorporate it in your bonding moments. For example, quality time. You
Mhm.
can set up Zoom dates, for example, if you're in a long distance relationship, or just set up movies to watch. There's a lot of things to figure out love language, or just observe. The first thing you need to do is observe. If you can't figure it out yet, what are the love languages of your partner? Observe, like, take a time to think and go back to memory lane, and okay, so these are the things that I do, which among those things that I do he appreciates the more.
Mhm.
You also can see it on their expressions and how they
Yeah.
react when they receive
Mhm.
it or when they see it.
Mhm.
So yeah, the first thing that's the first thing too. It's a process. It's not easy. It's not like a
Mhm.
24/7 journey. It will take time, but what
Right.
matters most is you can start now, and you're starting to learn things, and you're on the process of learning. So I think
Right.
those are my advice, or the tips and tricks that I use
Yeah.
before.
No, I love that. I definitely want to include like a quiz to go along with this episode to kind of make it fun for other people to really know like what exactly is their love language. And I'm sure they're all like interested in knowing like what quality, like whether they're quality time, acts of service, like it's really nice being able to pinpoint exactly what kind of love language represents you and the way
Mhm.
you express love and give love to others, because once you have that down, like the rest is just all about communication and coming to an understanding and just realizing that everyone loves differently and that's okay.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah, and I also like it's funny that you say that too because my sister she was the one that sent me like a graphic. I don't know if it was like from Instagram, but I was looking for it on Google too, and it was just like a graphic of like the five love languages, and that's how I kind of learned about it. And it was like a cute little graphic of like a little cup of coffee. So it's like the acts of service. Here's a coffee for you, like I was thinking about you the other day. And then the other one was like here's a warm cup of coffee, like and then you can snuggle by the fire or something, or the words of affirmation. I love the coffee that you made, like this is so good. And just like the other ones being like um which one? Oh, like there are so many. I was lost track. But like it was just like a cute little graphic describing each and every single one of the love languages, and it was just something as simple as like sending it over, like because my sister sent it to me, and then I was curious, so I sent it over to my boyfriend because I wanted to know what was his love language, and it was just nice being able to see like how my sister expresses love and feels love, even
Mhm.
like with my family too. I'm like, oh, like now I know where I get my affection from because I get it from my mom. She's definitely like that. Like that's how she expresses love, and I guess I carried it on. So it's just like really such a fun thing to be able to really pinpoint how exactly you express love and what exactly you can do to kind of like find a nice balance between you and your partner or you and your family member or a friend. Like it's just a great thing to be able to have in the back of your mind.
I agree. Yeah, exactly. It's a constant learning process, and it's
Yes.
fun and on the way to learning those
Yes.
things.
Exactly, exactly. It's definitely a lot of fun to be able to like see what how others express their love and what you can do to kind of like come to an understanding and just like talk more about it. But Aubrey, thank you so much for
Oh,
sharing.
yes. No, thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my learnings and my experiences on things like love languages and relationship. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. I think that the way it all flowed was perfect because I'm sure so many of my listeners were able to learn something and to be able to, like, if you don't know what to talk about, just like casually bring up, like, how do you express love? How do you love others? Like, it's just an interesting topic to talk about. And it's also so random, so it's a good dinner discussion at the dinner table.
Exactly.
So it's just like you can never really go wrong because there's just so much to continue learning about one another. So it's just such a great way to be able to continue growing from that together. So I do really enjoy all the examples, and I'm glad that you and your husband came to an understanding, and that now you guys know how you guys should be loved, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I'm happy, and yeah, I'm so excited to hear this one, to listen to this podcast. And
Yes.
yeah, I will continue supporting you, and I really love your podcast. It
Oh,
inspires me
thank you.
too, and I learned a lot from it. So thank you so much. I hope this will not be the last, and I hope
Yes.
we can have
No.
a lot of collaborations in the future as well.
Yes, definitely, definitely. It will not be the last, I promise. But yeah, I really do enjoy listening to your podcast as well. So, where can everyone find you?
So yeah, you can search on Instagram or on Facebook, Life Talks with Aubrey Nichole. So basically, I you can message me there. I can give advices. I can answer. I'm pretty responsive because I really make it a point to answer all the listeners' questions. Or for
Mm-hmm.
example, you wanted to share your love story. So I have this project hashtag You Talks. So if for example you wanted to share your love stories, or you wanted to share your story, not just even love, but your stories, your inspiring stories, or you have questions or topics that you wanted to tackle, want me to tackle on the podcast, you
Mm-hmm.
can like us on Facebook page, or Instagram. Yeah, pretty much, or send a voice message on Anchor FM. So yeah, you can find me. Just search Life Talks with Aubrey Nicole, and I'll be responding to your messages.
That is awesome. It's so great that you're so responsive and also willing to help other people.
Oh yeah, and I forgot there's also a Patreon group community that I'm forming on. So on
Oh.
those Patreon you can join the community, and you can get like behind the scenes. You can also be like a life talk partner. I call them life talk partner, wherein we can discuss different things. If you wanted one-on-one advising, one-on-one discussion to me on different matters and sharing my insights about it, you can join the community of life talk partners. So just join the group, or like message me and I will include you, or go on Patreon, find Life Talks with Aubrey Nicole, and you can see sneak peeks of my future episodes, polls of what topics you want me to cover, the behind the scenes of how I do the podcast, a day in my life, what do I
Oh.
cook, and stuff like that. So yeah, you can figure it out and go on Patreon or on my other social media platforms.
That's so fun. I love that. I love that you do that and have that one-on-one time with others, and just them being able to see that, like, podcasters have a life too, and like what goes behind the scenes editing and even cooking. So I think that that's so nice that you are able to include that and share that with everyone, and
Thank you.
I definitely want to check out the community as well.
Thank you.
So, everyone, I really hope this podcast made you smile at least once. Stay tuned for more advice and positivity next Friday. As always, it's Myra. I hope you have a better understanding of the 5 different love languages. Please make it an effort to ask your partner, ask your family, or a friend how they express and show love. And I'm sure that you'll feel a lot better knowing how they love one another. So, thank you so much for listening to this episode, and I hope you have such a beautiful day. Bye, guys!